vile creatures, they only need a little bit of understanding from everyone's part. Especially for the players who are curious enough to try on the role of the bad guy, we compiled a list with 10 of the best games that allow you to feel firsthand how it is to be a real troublemaker in a video game. You are a newborn monster. You live in the city of Omen, and small children fingers are your favourite all-time snacks. Throughout your life journey, you will have various choices you can make, and they will greatly shape your personality, transforming you into a despicable or gentle adult monster, depending on how you decide to tackle with the game's challenges. The increasing tensions between monsters and humans provide the excellent backdrop for making judgment calls, such as terrorising a kid lost in the dark forest, just for fun of course, or helping him get home safe to prove that not all monsters are bad. Depth is a first-person shooter with asymmetrical multiplayer elements where the conflict lies between treasure-hunting divers and the natural inhabitants of the ocean, sharks. The player has the liberty to decide if he wants to be a peaceful and curious underwater treasure hunter or the bloodthirsty shark that must chase his human prey all over the bottom of the ocean. Additional abilities are gained if you manage to successfully eat the opposing team. So if you always imagined what it would be like to be on the other side in Jaws, it's high time you played Depth. Stubbs is a zombie who wants nothing more than to eat the brains of the people from Punch Bowl, Pennsylvania. By taking control of this green-skinned monster, you'll be able to create your own zombie army that increases in number proportionally to how many human brains you've managed to devour. Stubbs isn't able to wield conventional weapons, so you must use melee attacks and other improvised weaponry if you want to beat up people and, again, transform them into fellow zombies. In Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines, the player takes the role of a male or female character who is killed and subsequently revived as an unexperienced vampire. You are able to customize your character and become a part of one of the 7 available clans, each giving you unique traits and abilities. As expected, this game has blood as a highly important currency, being obtained from draining rats, taking supplies from a blood clinic, or drinking it directly from people. The last option is the toughest one, since you need to keep the victim alive. Killing it will ultimately result in you losing your humanity points and slowly turning into a mindless beast. War of the Monsters is a 3D fighting game set in the aftermath of an alien invasion. The scientists of the world's nations invented a series of superweapons that managed to destroy all the flying saucers, but the green radioactive fluid that was fueling them spread across the planet, infecting humans and transforming them into violent monsters. The player is able to choose one of the 13 available monsters and get into fights with others of his kind, bringing mayhem and destruction all over the city. Kane, a newly resurrected vampire, is trying to find the people who murdered him to take his revenge, but also to find a cure for his new vampiric curse. His quest takes him through the fictional land of Nosgoth, dominated by humans and vampires alike, where he will eventually end up slaughtering the Circle of Nine, an immoral oligarchy of godly sorcerers. Kane starts to slowly grow accustomed to his new vampire body and even starts forsaking his initial plan, feeling that this curse he tries to remove might actually be a blessing. Future installments of this impressive gaming series will also let players dive into the dark and tormented lore as Kane, or as his wraith, Lieutenant Raziel. Like the 1994 eponymous gaming title for the Atari Jaguar, Aliens vs Predator features 3 different campaigns, each playable as a distinct species: alien, predator, or human colonial marine. Each of these characters have different abilities, purposes, and weapons. If you choose to play the predator, you'll have wrist blades, a throwing disc, a shoulder-mounted energy weapon, while if you go for the alien, you'll be able to climb across walls and ceilings, and you'll only have your claws, tails, and jaws to help you kill your enemies, especially those pesky humans. Rampage started as an arcade game and was later ported to consoles such as the Atari 2600, Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 2. In this absolutely classic title, the player takes the role of one of 3 monsters available and proceeds to go razing all the buildings in a city, while also destroying taxis, tanks and police cars with the purpose of scoring points and passing on to the next level. The game's main characters are George, a King Kong-like gigantic gorilla, Lizzie, a Godzilla-like dinosaur, and Ralph, a giant werewolf. Up to 3 players can simultaneously partake in this insanely satisfying nostalgic gaming title. A group of survivors, usually comprised of 4 players, must do their best to elude a 5th player that takes the role of a dreadfully looking killer. The action takes place at night and in an enclosed area, locations such as an isolated forest, a haunted asylum, or a dark marsh being just some of the possible sceneries. As the killer, the player also has a varied choice of characters, all equally monstrous and cruel, the hillbilly, the nurse, and the hag being some of the blood-curdling monsters that will be hunting down the players that are trying to escape. Somehow opposite to Dead by Daylight, in Evolve, a group of 4 players called Hunters need to work together in perfect harmony in order to kill the 5th player known as the Monster. Set on the industrialized alien planet Shear, this first-person shooter allows you, as the Monster, to consume wildlife and evolve in order to become stronger and retaliate each time a hunter is after you. The assortment of monsters you can choose from is quite generous. For example, you can choose to be the Goliath, the Kraken, the Wraith, the Behemoth, and the Gorgon, all equally deadly in the hands of the right player. This was our list showcasing some games where you can play a monster, and we hope you've enjoyed our video. If you did, please press that like button as we do appreciate it and it helps us immensely. We often ask our audience for suggestions to compile these lists, and if you'd like to contribute, please follow Frag Hero on Facebook. Feel free to post other games that you think should be on this list in the comments below, because we do try to read pretty much everything. Now would also be a great time to encourage you to subscribe, because we upload new stuff all of the time, so subscribing will keep you up to date with all of our latest videos. You can also check out fraghero.com.